So I just wanted to make a really positive visit. So these are shows that shows I'm excited for is, today's the 18th. So on March 12th, so that was, is that weird? Hi everybody, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Azaria and this is my place, and every Thursday I alternate talking about Disney or theater, and every Saturday is a sim Saturday. And so today it's a theater Thursday. So on March 12th of 2020, Broadway essentially went dark and performances were put on hold and shows did not continue to go on after the 2 weeks like expected. And almost exactly a week ago today was the 1 year anniversary of the Broadway shutdown. And a lot of people from the Broadway community have reflected on what this past year has meant to them and what it's inspired them to do and how it's inspired them to look up and forward. And a lot of them have also spoken out about what they're looking forward to when Broadway actually does return. So I absolutely miss Broadway and live theater in general. And so I wanted to make a pretty positive and uplifting video to kind of talk about all the things I'm excited to do once Broadway opens back up. Let's go back in time. The last show I saw before the shutdown was Book of Mormon, and I saw that on January 2nd, I believe, of 2020. So that was about 2 months before the shutdown. I was fully anticipating going to see other shows. I was really excited about this season that just happened, as there were a lot of shows that were set to open but didn't get the chance to. So I was really excited for the season, and I was really excited to see all the new talent and all the old talent that was coming back to the stage. Anyways, I'm rambling. The first category is things I want to do. So this is mostly things I want to do either for the first time or things I want to do again. So every time I go on a trip, I make my boyfriend, I think almost every time we've gone together, my boyfriend and I have gone to Schmackery's. I love Schmackery's so much. It's so tiny. There's actually 2 locations now. We go to the same one every single time. Essentially, if you don't know what Schmackery's, it's a little bakery. They have like the best cookies ever. I love them. Cookies are my dessert of choice, so I'm practically in heaven when I go there. But every time we go, we'll try to taste different cookies. And I actually love Schmackery so much that last year for my birthday, his family got me a box of Schmackery's cookies, and with a cute little note in the box that said, "Since you can't go to New York, we decided to bring a little bit of it to you." And it was a box of like my favorites and then also some I hadn't tried. So I was really excited to get them and really excited to eat them. So I really want to go back to Schmackery's. My favorite cookie, I think, is maple bacon. They have a really good maple bacon cookie. It's so good. I'm rambling on about cookies, but that is like the number one thing I can't wait to do again. In case you didn't know that, you can order Schmackery's cookies and have them right at your front door. And they were pretty good for a while. So yeah, Schmackery's. Another thing I want to do, and this is just kind of just my own personal thing. Another thing we always do is go to the Disney store. So their Disney store is 2 levels. It's beautiful. They have this really cool escalator. Well, it's not a cool escalator. The escalator itself is not cool. I've seen an escalator before. But you go up the escalator and there's a wall and there's like characters in silhouette. They also have these really cool like tree cutouts that you can see like characters in the trees. It's super cute. It's super cool. So I think the main reason I really want to do this is because a lot of the Disney stores are closing. There's actually not going to be one near me any longer. And so I can't wait to go because one, they're, I guess, an outlet. So they have a bigger selection for both adults and kids. So I really like that there's just more options in that store, and it's so big. Like, I think you think it's not going to be that big and you go and you're like, oh my gosh, there's so much space. This is kind of like another big one I obviously can't wait for. Live theater and Broadway in general, but I can't wait to stage door again. Stage dooring is so fun. I've also stage doored at like touring productions, so that's how I actually was able to meet Andrew Szymanski when I saw a show in Pittsburgh, and there's just nothing like it. I mean, you get to meet some really talented, amazing people. I've gotten to meet people like Christiane Pitts, Aisha Jackson, Greg Hildreth. I've gotten to meet some really cool people at the stage door, and they're all super nice and super fun. I've never run into anybody just like casually walking through the streets of New York, but I've had such a really fun time stage dooring. And I remember at Frozen, I was so like nervous. I took a picture of me and Aisha Jackson. It was the blurriest picture I've ever taken. And then I gave the phone to my boyfriend. I was like, you have to do it. I can't even hold my phone right now. It's just having that rush of after seeing a show and how happy you can feel and how energized you could feel that you can't even like talk straight. So I just miss the stage dooring experience, standing with other people who loved the show and just getting to get your playbill signed. Funny thing, this is something else I do whenever I go see a show and I stage door, I get an extra playbill. Because I don't like my playbills being signed too much. Like, I get them signed because it's just the thing you do. But I always have like 2 copies of my playbill because I like a clean, fresh one and then I like a signed one. I don't know if anyone else is that way, but I will always on the way out try to get an extra copy of the playbill. So another fun stage door story. I didn't have anything to get signed when I was standing in the stage door line for Anastasia. I was like, can you sign my phone case? And Christy Altamore, who's like the sweetest person on the planet, was like, yeah, sure. So she signed my phone case and I was like, thank you. I walked away and she's like, can I give you a hug? I'm like, yes, you can. And that's another thing. I can't wait for when it's safe for everyone to like touch each other again. I know that's like sounds weird, but just to like hug people that you look up to and that you know, it's just a whole nother experience. Like live theater is a whole nother experience. It's not like sitting in a movie theater where you all experience that movie and experience how cool that was together. I mean, yeah, it's kind of along those lines, but you don't get to talk to the people that were in the movie after the movie. Whereas with live theater, you get to experience it with people who love it, who may love the movie or love the musical, you know, depending on if it's a revival or they've just been following the musical for years. And then you get to go to the stage door and meet the people that were on stage and share something with them and something they love with you. And it's just a whole nother experience. So I can't wait to when we can actually like talk to people and be close to people again. As far as things that I've never done that I would like to do are things from like going to see the Statue of Liberty to going to a few museums. I've actually only been to I think 1 museum, and I think we went to the American Folk Art Museum, which was fun. It was free. We were seeing a show at night, so we wanted something to do during the day. It was actually really fun. But along with things I've never done, this past Christmas, actually, my boyfriend's brother made me a list of like restaurants and places that I should go. Essentially, he knows that I like going to New York and he likes to cook. So he wanted to kind of combine the 2 things we like. And so he actually made me a list, and it has things from like pizzerias to like Godiva Cafe to steakhouses. And he also put like little descriptions of all the places. So it has kind of background information on all of the places, as well as kind of like dress codes if there's any, things like that. So it was a really cool gift. So I would love to mark off some of those places in future trips as well. All right, so on to my next category, and there's kind of 2 different categories. So it's shows I'm excited for and shows I really want to see. So the shows I'm excited for are kind of the shows that I wouldn't mind seeing, but I'm not like, I have to see this or I'll die, you know, which is a bit dramatic, but can you tell I was a musical theater major in college? Shows I'm excited for, like I said, this season was going to be so good. Of those shows, I was really excited for Caroline or Change. I'm also excited about the West Side Story revival. This is one of those shows that I feel like every time it's revived, it's done different. It just feels that way, that every revival's been different, which is not a bad thing. Okay, so this is now the shows I want to see, but I'm gonna go in like least to greatest. At the bottom, I want to say it's probably 6. I think that the music in 6 is really good. And I can't believe that they were only hours away from opening officially before the shutdown. So I just want to see the energy that that cast is going to bring when they finally get to just fully belt it all out again. I think that it's a very creative way of telling the story of these women. So I would not be opposed to seeing this show. The only reason it's like ranked 4 out of 4 is because I think I'm more excited about the other shows. So number 3 would have to be Music Man, the revival of Music Man. And I think it's just more for the cast. I'm really excited because Sutton Foster's gonna be Marion. So I have yet to see Sutton Foster in anything live, so this would be really cool. But then Hugh Jackman. I haven't seen Hugh Jackman in anything live, and I don't even know when the last time Hugh Jackman was in a Broadway musical. Number 2. This is only ranked high because of personal reasons, but Company. I would love to see the revival of Company. And I just like when things get reimagined in a really fun way. And I was in Company in college. It was one of the best show experiences I've ever had. And so I would love to see this revival because, one, Patti LuPone's in it again, which is exciting, and Katrina Lenk is just one of the most talented people ever. And lastly, this one makes sense if you know me at all or if you've been watching any of my theater videos. I love Moulin Rouge. It's my favorite movie of all time. This is a show that I actually feel like if I didn't see it, I would die. Like, that's how strongly I feel about this show. I remember at first, it's just hard to let go of something when you love something so much. When I first heard the cast album, I was kind of skeptical because it was so different from the movie, especially like the tango. I was kind of like, oh, we changed the best number in the movie. Honestly, it's all grown on me, and I love Moulin Rouge, and I talk about it all the time. So that is the show that I want to see the most. Yes, I also wanted to kind of throw in like off-Broadway here, and I really would also love to see The Play That Goes Wrong. And I feel like I'm legally obligated to say this just because of how many videos I've talked about this subject, but I obviously can't wait for the 74th Annual Tony Awards, and I'm really just excited for that because it's going to get to celebrate the shows that opened and got the chance to open and be seen, and just kind of be this triumphant return to Broadway. So that was kind of all my thoughts. Those are all the things I'm looking forward to, things I want to do, and shows I want to see when Broadway opens back up. Let me know in the comments below what you're most looking forward to, what shows you want to see when Broadway returns, and what is the first thing you're gonna do when Broadway returns. So on to the Show Tune Spotlight. So I was actually watching a video, and I believe it was from Good Morning America, and it was just about this past year and Broadway stars reflecting on what this past year meant to them. And the song that they decided to sing and use as like their anthem was Tomorrow from Annie. And so I'm gonna go with Tomorrow from Annie. So Annie originally opened on Broadway in April of 1977 and it closed in January of 1983. And its music and lyrics are by Charles Strauss and Martin Charnin. Annie has had a few movie adaptations, and it's actually one of the few musicals to have a sequel, which is really interesting. So that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching, and be kind.